transforming 2 acres of basically wooded land into productive organic farmland. And he'll be sharing his experiences with us on that. And from basically April to November, he sells his local organic grown food to primarily the Seashell Farmers Market. The title of his presentation will be, or is, Price of Land, Access to Land, Help in the Farm. Let's welcome Alain Bergeron.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, everyone. When I was asked to talk this morning, I said I don't have any issues with farming. I just work all the time. I don't have time to complain. But then I started thinking about it and went like, oh yeah, sure, I can find things to go and complain about. So there's a couple things that for sure I can mention. Last fall, I think, well, yeah, sure, we don't really have much grain around here. I should grow some corn. So what do I need to grow an acre of corn? First, I'm going to need some land. So I started looking around, and I found some in Seashell for 800,000, and there was one for 1.5 million. So I started looking closer to my place, and I went like, oh, here's a nice airport, a clearing, new clearing that they're going to expand, and there's a place where they cannot fly airplanes there. Maybe I can grow something. So I went to the SCRD first, and I was well received by a gentleman here and others too, and I went like, I'd like to farm this piece of land there. Can I? And they were like, oh, it doesn't belong to us. Is there any other pieces of land from the SCRD? No. Everybody wants to help farmer, but nobody really has any action plan in place. The planners don't know. It's all like nice talking, and some people are really good at telling you no with a smile, basically. And I appreciate that, because if I was running the SCRD, I'd hire these people right away. They're really good. And then I went to Seashell because I realized it was belonging to the Seashell. And then I sent emails and went, and finally I got an answer that was a yes, maybe, we'll see, we are planning. So I was like, I hope they're going to finish planning before growing season, because it's not going to work for me. So I still haven't heard from them. I'm still hoping that they're going to just put some thoughts that there are people out there who wants to farm, and that it needs to be part of the people over the counter there. It needs to know if somebody like the odd person like me who wants to farm a piece of land, there's got to be like a plan in place. Say, oh, maybe we could invite a bunch of farmers to bid on, so that we could lease it, rent it, or it's not in place. Everybody looked at me funny, like, you want to farm? Yeah, I do. I enjoy I like my job. I like farming. Anyways. So I look at that was access to land, which is part of my subject, access to land and price of land. And I've been talking to a couple of farmers this week about labor on the farm, and it was fun. I had a good discussion with Pam from Rosendale, and John too asked me to say something. The price of land. I made some calculation. I like doing math sometimes, and I looked at the price of land, and $50,000 would be like a pretty nice piece of crap at the end of a logging road that you could, maybe if you work about 3 years really hard, with machines, you could transform into an acre of something, corn or garlic, let's say. And I made some calculation. There it is. I didn't have it on the computers because I need a computers, by the way, if somebody has one. And so if we say, can we agree on 50,000 for the price of 1 acre? Like you mentioned 50,000, John, like makes sense, 50,000, okay. So I went like, okay, on 1 acre, I can grow about 5,000 kale plants. Let's take kale, red Russian kale, on 1 acre. Okay, and so the mortgage on $50,000 per month, I would say $550, $600 per month to the bank, because you borrowed for 10 years, okay, to be able to grow your 1 acre of corn. And so I figured that from 5,000 plants, I would have about 333 bunches of kales if I'm lucky with the deer, because I did build a deer fence there. I did add up to my mortgage for the deer fence, and I bought fertilizer, and I paid some people $10 an hour to weed it, to plant it, and then I am packaging it and delivering it, and I bought a tractor with that, and some fuel to go in it, and insurance because I crossed the road there, and I figure out a pump system, so on, and so seeds, you name it. And that was after clearing it for 3 years, which I don't know how I paid the mortgage for 3 years before I had that acre of kale going. Okay, so and then to pay the mortgage, actually, I would need 420 bunches of kales, but I can only grow 320, so I'm not even paying the land yet. So this is why farmers ask to have access for land. Okay. And the other thing, the other subject I could mention is help on the farm. Yeah, there was a farmer this week who said, I said, I don't hire anybody because it'll cost me more to give them $10 an hour than I will scoop out. And so the other farmer says, tell them I'm not making minimum wage. Like, if I make $2 an hour, it's great. Tell them. So I'm telling you. And also I was at the lighthouse with a fellow farmer Saturday afternoon, and she said, hey, do you know why I can be sitting here and having a beer? And I was like, I don't have a clue, because I shouldn't be here either, you know. And she said, because I hired Mexicans for 2 years, because it takes only 2 Mexicans to do what 10 Canadians would do as far as work. And I was like, can you repeat that? Because I have to talk about this Monday. I was like, and I'm there taking notes. Can you repeat that? 2 makes 10. I'm like, all right, I get it. So that's basically what we're faced with, and I'm not going to talk too long. But, yeah, I hope you don't have too many questions either. Okay.